Everyone. Hello, hello, hello. Any teacher should Danny. For whatever reason, I've been singing that crazy song all day. Every time I sing that song, I remember it reminds me of my younger brother when we're growing up. So if you think my Yoruba language skills are bad, Bangladesh skills are non-existent. So that was probably the only thing he knew Yoruba language. Hi everyone, come on in, say hello when you come in. Hi everybody, haven't seen you guys in a week. How's everybody been? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday, everyone. Come on in, say hello, come on in. I am hello, Salams. I hope I didn't murder your name. Hello, Amalu Eagle Proud from Maryland. How are you? Hello, TikTok family. BB's Shakur. Hi, everybody. How has everybody been? Hello, Mr. Blaze. How are you? Hey, Musty. What's going on? What's going on, people? How was everybody's Thanksgiving? Hello, Epic Movement. Where have you been? Where have you been? You know, there's some people that you know that you haven't met them in person. We've seen each other over virtually, but there's some people that when you meet them in person, it's gonna be a good time. Y'all don't even know. Like sometimes I'm like, it was just God that got me through college. It was God that got me because I was wild. Don't tell my mama. She's probably here. There are a lot of things that I think about that if my mother knows, if she knows now, it's like, so what's she gonna do? Was like, how but our university that let's just leave it alone. Let's just leave it alone. But Epic Movement is one of those people that I know that it's gonna be a good time. Like just good to see you. Hi everyone. Come on in. Say hello. I think so. And yeah, we share a birthday, August 21st. We are both Leo babies. What you see is what you get. We don't have mediums. For those who are like July 23rd to August, July 22nd to I don't know. We don't have mediums. What you see is what you get. We're either extremely cold or extremely hot. If we like you, if we don't like you. We're extremely sensitive people, but very, very fierce as well. Sometimes we come across as very brash, but behind all that brashness and toughness, it's a lot of very, very, very sensitive. Like I'm the kind of person that I say things the way what you see is what you get. But I'm also the kind of person that I can cry over a commercial. That's how crazy it is for Epic to understand that kind of craziness. He's like, yeah. Hi everyone. Come on in. You already know the drill. We'll take questions later on. I hope everyone had a wonderful Thanksgiving. They take the time off and got back. It was to see the whole of USCIS decided to drive, a whole truckload of notices and approval. Like, okay, obviously we're not done. So if you are one of my clients that you're expecting, Miss Inca, I think I have yours. I think Miss Inca, I see you on Instagram. Obviously, I'm not going to see her last name, but I think I have yours. I think I spied your notices. And finally, a VAWA case we filed in August. Lord have mercy. August 30 or 31. One of those days. Finally got the receipt notice today. 3 months. So what I started doing in my abeyance, and it's a case where we converted to a VAWA case. What I started doing in my abeyance letters now is including in the abeyance letter is you requesting that USCIS hold your I-485 and not process it until your VAWA cases. And if you have a case pending before, it's to include that, hey, listen, y'all, Vermont Seven Center, for whatever reason, is taking up upwards of 90 days. And I just guessed, but I'm right. And so please don't deny this if we don't get it to you within 30 days. We can't do nothing about it. But once we send it to you, you will see that it was filed back then. 3 months to get a receipt notice. It is highly ridiculous. But that's the reality right now. So, it is what it is. But anyway, this is Attorney 𝒊𝒎𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓𝒂𝒏𝒕. I am an immigration attorney. I am based in Alabama, representing immigration clients in all states. I had someone who just retained my services today, and I guarantee you, he asked me that question like at least 4 times. Are you sure that you can represent me? Yes. Immigration is federal practice. So as long as an attorney is licensed in one state, they can represent you regardless of what state you live in. So if you need to contact our office, number is 334-341-4475. Visit our website at olalayalawfirm.com. You can also text us to 334-341-4475, same number on WhatsApp. Please share this video, subscribe to the YouTube channel, follow us on TikTok, follow us on Instagram, like our Facebook page, and all 4 platforms, it's Olalaya Immigration. 𝐸𝐽𝐸. Well, then again, I have a twin sister somewhere. Got a twin sister somewhere. Just saying. My dad was a twin. I'm surprised that my mom didn't have a twin, a set of twins, but my dad was a twin. So it runs in the family. I don't think I could have handled twins though. My older brother has a set of twins. What the heck am I talking about? I completely forgot. I hope their mom is not. I didn't forget about the voice. But yeah, I was like, there should be twins in my family. I have twin nephews. Asher and Amari. Hi, babies. But anyway, let's talk immigration, people. So tell me how your Thanksgiving was. Good to see everybody. Hope everyone had a great time off. I know some of y'all worked overtime on holiday pay. I came my rest from time to time. Hello, Mr. Stanley. How are you? But let's talk immigration. So this evening, we'll get to the question. I'm going to try to make it short. I have a lot of catching up. So I am 6 weeks post surgery today. Thank you, Jesus. And I have 2 more weeks to go. I'm supposed to be cutting back for 8 weeks. It's just, 2 more weeks to go. Thank you, Lord. But thank God for strength. But let's talk immigration. This evening, I want to talk about the visa bulletin and eligibility. I think I had 3 consultations today that we had to refer to the visa bulletin because a lot of people are like, okay, how does it work? Who does it apply to? What dates? What are those dates for? How do you know when to file? How does the whole system work? With what the heck is a visa bulletin and why does it apply to me? That's what we're going to break down this evening. Hopefully that helps whoever it is that is trying to decide, can my parent file for me? Can my spouse, who is a green card holder, file for me? If so, what is the implication if I'm out of status? All of that. So let's tackle that. Let's get right into it. Let me drink some water, people, because my tongue is. Oh, by the way, it's dry. But so for the last 2 hours, we have been under severe tornado watch. And Miss Ramina, if you're watching, thank you. Y'all, when I tell you that my clients are like second family for me, because she is my client, and good to know Mr. Stanley, and sent me a message saying, hey, I was watching news. This is heading your area. I hope you're okay. It's good to know that sometimes it goes just beyond representing you in immigration cases. People actually, we become a family. I have a client who, her and her 4 kids got their green cards early last year, and she just sent me what the hell did they call those little cakes for Thanksgiving out of the blues? That just warms my heart, and just know that people, sometimes I'll just say, hey, to some clients that I'm like, hey, what's going on with you? That's just me. But then again, if I don't feel like saying hello, don't say hello to me. So anyway, all right, visa bulletin. So who does it apply to? I am going to share my screen on YouTube and Facebook. So I now tell you what it is we're looking at on for y'all on TikTok and Instagram. It's one of the optometrists in my area. That's where I got my glasses from. So this glasses is, well, it's their designer brand, but you can actually get, see, I'm Ijebu. Well, not totally, but half Ijebu because my mother's an Ijebu woman. So there's that part of me that's very frugal. So I'm always looking for like, I have a champagne taste, but I don't want to spend more than a beer budget. That's just me. But I am ready to reduce my taste. So whenever I like something, I always try to see where can I get it cheaper. So I saw an eyeglass online store, bought one, but I had to return it, to be honest, because it's not the same. It's the same imitation, but it's not the same. I mean, I was like, no, take your stuff back. But you can get it. So anyway, I'm going to share my screen. Visa Bulletin is what is released every single month. So right now, the December 2022, even though we're not in December yet, has been released by the Department of State. What is that? How does that apply to immigration? So whenever you have someone who's going to apply for an immigrant visa, the Visa Bulletin gives you priority dates. Priority dates, basically, in a nutshell, in layman terms, basically just means the date that USCIS received your case, the date they received your filing. Now, priority dates sometimes may vary depending on very few exceptions where your priority dates would not necessarily be the date that they receive your immigration petition or application, but it may be a date that they receive something related to your immigration petition. Example, if you are doing what we call a perm-based, employer-sponsored green card application, green card process, where you have a U.S. employer, the U.S.-based employer willing to sponsor you for an immigrant visa, and you have to go through the perm process. What happens in that case is you have to start by doing a prevailing wage determination and then file a labor certification. So perm application. The date that you file the Department of Labor's permanent worker application, that's short form for perm, the date you file that becomes the priority date for the I-140 petition that's going to be filed by the employer. In those are one of the exceptions where the priority date is not necessarily the date that USCIS receives the I-140 or that immigrant petition itself, but it's a transferable date that makes it earlier. So for instance, if you're doing a perm application, your employer files for you and the perm application is submitted November 29, 2022. The perm process goes through, that is certified, but by the time the employer is now filing an I-140 petition, we're already in September 2023. The I-140 petition, which is the immigrant petition for alien worker, when you get your receipt notice, the priority date on that receipt notice will say November 3rd to 29, 2022, because that's the date that the perm application was filed, even though the I-140 itself was filed much later. That's employment business. I don't want to confuse everybody, but for the most part, priority date basically just means the date that USCIS receives your application, and so that's the date in their system that stands for your priority date. That applies to I-130s filed, I-360 that's filed, all of that. Where does the Visa Bulletin come in play? Visa Bulletin, or who is subject to the Visa Bulletin? Let me start by who is not subject to the Visa Bulletin. If you are an immediate relative, immediate relatives are spouses and minor children under the age of 21 unmarried of citizens. So that group of people, that group is not subject to visa bulletin, because there's always going to be immigrant visas available for immediate relatives. They don't have to go with visa bulletin and priority dates. Those who are subjected to visa bulletin, the priority dates, are those who fall within the preference category. Everybody else, except immediate relatives, falls within preference category. So the preference category now, that's another. So we have visa bulletin has dates. That is basically letting you know what your priority date is and when you are eligible to file either your adjustment of status or to apply for your immigrant visa at the consulate/embassy. That's what the visa bulletin does. It lists the dates, and what do those dates mean? Those dates basically tell you that if your petition application was filed on or before this particular date, then you are eligible to now file your adjustment of status or to apply for your immigrant visa, because at that time, the visa number has now become available to you. That applies to people who are grouped in the preference categories. Okay, let's try. And I'll tell you why that is important and how you can apply that to your case. So, let's share my screen. Okay, share screen. Let's see. Okay, y'all on YouTube and Facebook, would you let me know if you're able to? Oh, I think I probably. Okay. Can you guys see my screen on Facebook and YouTube? And I'll tell you guys on TikTok and Instagram what we're looking at. But can someone confirm, one person each on Facebook and YouTube? Can you tell me if you're able to see? Hello, Mr. Kennedy. How are you? Can you tell me if you're seeing my screen? Zoom it a bit. See, that's the tech thing that I no, don't be asking me to zoom anything. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Oh no, I messed it up now. Oh, there we go. See, you'll even learn. How's that bad? Is that better, Mr. Dosum? I think that's better, right? Oh, perfect. Hello, Mr. Jude. Okay. See, I'm proud of myself. Awesome. All right. So basically what I'm showing is the December. Okay, I can zoom this. Touchpad. I always forget that my screen is on touchscreen. Visa bulletin for December 2022. Remember, immediate relatives are not subject to visa categories. There's always going to be visas available to them. Why do we have the visa bulletin? Basically, there is, for each preference category, there is a cap each year, the number of visas that are available for each preference category. If you are an immediate relative, there's always going to be visas available for you. But if you're everybody else falls within the preference categories. And so that means that you have to wait until there is a visa number available to you. How would you know if there's a visa number available to you? It is by seeing whether or not USCIS and or the National Visa Center is now working on or are now working on cases received on or before the date on your petition. That's your priority date. So, example, F1 preference category. That is category for unmarried sons and daughters, right here, unmarried sons and daughters of U.S. citizens. Each year, they have 23,400 visas, plus any numbers not required for fourth preference, which is brothers and sisters of U.S. citizens. So how would I know? How would you know? How would your unmarried son or daughter of a U.S. citizen over the age of 21 know that they're not able to now apply for the immigrant visa or adjust status? If you go down to this chart right here, F1 corresponds to this. all chargeability except, China and all that. But right now, for the most part, everybody is almost current except Philippines and Mexico. But let's say your unmarried son, you're a citizen, your married son lives in Nigeria, right? And you filed for their I-130 December 2016. If the I-130 will be approved, but if they apply for the immigrant visa now, they will not be able to get an interview. They would not be able to process their case at all. Why? Because right now they are working on cases received on or before December 1st, 2014. So even if you have filed an I-130 December 1st, 2016, that I-130 has been approved for like 4 years, sitting down, and you're wondering, okay, why can't they get the visa? This is why. Because although your I-130 has been approved, until USCIS and or National Visa Center for someone who is outside the country gets to cases that have a priority date, meaning cases that were filed on or before December 1st, 2016, that approved I-130 just sits there until that date comes around. So they will not be able to apply for the immigrant visas until their date comes around. That's the whole point about the visa bulletin. Let's see another category. We have the F2A, spouses and children of permanent residents. Basically, you see, if you are on YouTube and Facebook, you can see that all across the board, it's C. C basically means current. Current means that as of today, as of right now, as of December coming up, anyone who has an approved I-130 that is a son, minor child, or unmarried under the age of 21, or the spouse of a green card holder in any country, once that I-130 has been approved, they have immigrant visas readily available to them right now, and they can go ahead and apply, either adjust or apply for the immigrant visas at the embassy. So this is where preference categories come, visa bulletin comes into play. Lets you know what date to look for on your petition, which is basically your receipt date, or if you're doing a perm, like I said, that varies. And to know when you become eligible to apply for adjustment of status if you are in the country, or to apply for an immigrant visa if you're applying at the consulate or embassy. Now, let me clarify. If you are in preference category, and so I think I can stop sharing. All right. If you are in preference category and you're living in the United States and your priority date becomes current, if you're in preference category and you're not in a valid status at the time that your priority date becomes current, you will not be able to adjust your status in the country, because at that time you would have accrued unlawful presence and you would need a waiver before you leave, get that approved, and then you have to go to the embassy and apply for your visa, for your immigrant visa at the embassy. But you must have the waiver approved before you leave. Only immediate relatives are exempt from the overstay unlawful presence bar. In addition to immediate relatives, unless you are a 𝒊𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓 petitioner, whether or not your abuser is a citizen or a green card holder, those people are also, and whether or not you entered without inspection, those are also exempt from the unlawful presence. If you do not fall in either of those two categories and you've overstayed, you will not be able to apply for to adjust status. It doesn't matter whether all your family members are citizens now. No. If the basis by which you're applying falls within the preference category, except for the 𝒊𝒎𝒊𝒈𝒓 petitioners, and you have overstayed, you will have to leave the country in order to apply for your immigrant visa. Example, if you have, let's say your brother filed for you, and siblings is taking like 200 years. But like 14, 15 years wait. So you're in school, you've been in legal status, you're doing your PhD degree, your brother filed for you, the I-130 was approved 5 years ago, and it's 2022, they're working on cases received in 2021, and you're like, okay, I'm almost done. For whatever reason, you get out of status, but you now say, hey, well, I have an I-130 petition that I'm the beneficiary of. I'll just stick around, and once my date comes around, I'll be able to apply. So now you're out of F status for over 6 months, and your date comes around and you're applied to adjust status. The fact that your brother is a citizen and filed for you does not exempt you from that bar of unlawful presence, because now you're out of status and you will not be eligible, because one of the reasons to be eligible for adjustment of status, if you are not an immediate relative and you're not a valid self-petitioner, and you're not applying based on employment, even if so. Okay, let me leave that alone, because that's going to yeah, my brain is all over the place. And I'll just say it real quick. But if you're not within those categories, then it doesn't matter that your brother is a citizen. You would have to leave the country to go apply for your immigrant visa. End of story. Another example: if you marry a green card holder and you've overstayed, and your I-130 gets approved, if you have overstayed, you will not be eligible to adjust your status, meaning get your green card without having to file a waiver of unlawful presence, get that approved, and then you have to leave the country to apply for your immigrant visa at the embassy or consulate. That's all she wrote. I didn't make the laws. That's what the law is. So that's basically what a visa bulletin is, why it's important, and when you can find out when you're eligible. Now, just a note on the employment side. For those who are getting green cards through employment, whether it be self-petition like a national interest waiver or employer sponsored, if you are out of status, but you've not been out of status for more than 180 days, you will still be eligible to adjust your status in the country. For those who are seeking green cards and applying for I-485 based on employment petitions. So that, just so you know, just throw that in. Okay, that's all she wrote. Let's get to questions. Nani says, how to change my address if I don't have receipt notice yet? The package sent 1 month ago. You would have to wait to get your receipt notice. So you can attach that to your requests and then send it in to the Vermont Service Center. Okay. SH says, hi, does it mean approval when you get FBI background check and fingerprint in the VAW petition? I do not understand your question, but that's an approval. Approval will tell you it's an approval. But I don't really understand the question. Okay, let me start on TikTok today. Let's see. Emperor Show, I am doing great. How are you? Fly Goddess, how you doing? Is I-129F going to get better anytime soon? We're praying so. Kind of dark. I don't know why it's dark here. We're hoping so, but it's still taking about a year. And I-129F is a fiancé visa petition. It's taking about a year for whatever reason. But just the I-129F for itself to be I applied for my spouse. The case got all the way to National Visa Center, and now they want a divorce. Okay. Okay. What's your question? Muhammad says, my visa category is current. How much time to take to approve I-45 at Texas Center? You'll have to go to USCI's first in times and see how long it's taking them. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. My friend wanted married to a guy, but he's out of status. Is it going to be a problem? Is the friend going to be, is somebody going to be filing for the other person? Or are they both out of status, marrying each other? I mean, I don't understand. What's the question as far as being a problem as regarding what? Hello, Dave. How are you? The mother of royalty. I love that. Thank you. Is it true that you can fail the citizenship because you don't have enough, I'm assuming, ties with your spouse? If you are okay, let me disclaimer. This is just general. My hair is itchy. I put some peppermint oil because of my scalp. I love to have peppermint. So my scalp. I think that's why I'm sweating in my tongue, because it's like it going in my brain. But disclaimer, nothing specific to anybody's case. This is a general question, general answers to questions. If you want anything specific to your case, you've got to set up a proper paid consultation. But generally, if you are filing naturalization based on marriage to a U.S. citizen and you've been in the marital union for the last 3 years, you've been in the marital union since you have been, you got a green card, you've been a green card holder for 3 years, and you're filing based on being in a valid marital union with a citizen at the time that you have your interview, then you will be required to show that you are in marital union. If you do not want to do that, and you don't want to be able to prove that you're still in marital union, basically having good faith evidence all over again, then you can wait 5 years and file on your own. And at that time, you don't have to prove. But if you're basing it on 3 years and you don't show enough evidence that there is a marital union for the basis of your filing, then they can deny your case. Princess one, can you travel outside United States with your temporary green card as long as it's still valid? Can you get a medical visa, a B2 for a sister of a green card holder? Anyone can apply for anything. It doesn't mean you can get it. So, I mean, you can, it's still a non-immigrant visa. How can we have a discussion? I have an issue and I need your help. You would have to set up a proper paid consultation. Consultation is 130, 30 minutes, 245 minutes, 230. You can tell that I hardly do it anymore. I have someone who takes care of that. Thank you, Jesus. 1 hour. But what we do is if you retain our services within 15 days from the consultation, I usually credit that towards your legal fees. So that's why. And our number is 334-341-4475. Or if you go to my bio, the link to my website is in the bio. So you can actually go on the website and schedule your own consultation yourself. Okay. Let's see. Hi, Alex says, file marriage AOS, got approved, and the RFE from a medical for I-45. Does that mean no interview? 99.999999%. Yes. That's why we're seeing a lot of that now, people. Listen. I am seeing there's a lady that we're right dead smack in the middle of converting to a VAWA case because a case had been pending. She suffered abuse. things had, and it's been more than 2 years since she's been married to the guy. And last week she got an RFE for medical. So we halted everything. We're like, that's God speaking. And she had emailed me and says, you know what, Attorney Olale, I have a strong feeling that I may be, I've prayed, I've fasted. I just truly, truly believe that they're going to waive interview. So let's just hold it. I know I have, obviously you're going to pay for my time because we've practically finished her forms. We're just waiting. Just hold, but rather than keep her on payment plan, we just close that out and just waiting for her to send the RFE. And lo and behold, she got the RFE for the medicals. And every single case, knock on wood, that I've received, RFE for medical, because they'll send you a deficiency notice. And if you send you an RFE for your medicals, that's 99.9999%, they're going to be waiving your interview. So in her case, it makes no sense to keep going with the VI case. She's been married for over 2 years. So definitely she's going to be getting a 10-year green card. She's no longer with the guy, so she doesn't mind waiting 5 years to get her citizenship. So they are doing that. So even if you are still waiting, abuse has happened in your marriage, but you've been waiting for a while and you're contemplating, because I still had a conversation with someone who's been waiting 18 months since their interview. No unannounced visits, nothing, is just delayed. And they're like, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I just have to move on and switch over to a vodka. So like, listen, let's give it 90 days. Something is going on in USCIS. Since beginning of October, I've been seeing a whole lot more of RFEs for medicals when it comes to pending I-45. So increase your chances by submitting as much evidence as possible when you file your case. If you don't have as much as possible in your file, when you go for your interview, then because the I-130, so let's back up. Your I-130 is really the basis for your interview. They will send your interview notice they tell you the I-45 will have the interview notice. The interview notice will have I-45. But the I-130 itself is the reason why USCIS schedules an interview. Here's why. Your good faith is attached to the I-130. The petitioner is saying, I am in a bona fide, legitimate relationship with this person. And USCIS is saying, prove it to us. That's attached to the I-130. The I-45 is solely about your admissibility as a legal permanent resident. Do you have anything or any grounds that's going to make you ineligible or inadmissible? If you do not, that's what that is about. Your good faith and a real marriage proof is linked to the I-130. So if you're able to overcome or to be able to provide sufficient evidence, there is no reason for them to not schedule you for an interview for I-45. If you're still able to provide as much evidence, then altogether you would not even be called for an interview for the good faith. So give them as much as you can. Even if you're trying or you're thinking about converting to a VI case, now it's a 50-50 chance, obviously, but just give it another 90 days. See if, somehow they may waive an interview. I have 3 clients right now, 3 couples, actually 4. Two just had babies, and we sent in photographs of the babies. One of the couples actually volunteered to just do a DNA test. He just did it like, listen, and we got one of the notices we got today was RFE for the medical for the one who did the DNA test. So give them as much as you possibly can and increase your chances of getting your interview waived. Okay, let's see. Can someone file for citizenship while they're waiting for I-751 interview? Yes. Can you travel outside the United States without any problems if you got I-131 travel document? There is no guarantee. It's discretionary, but that's what the travel document is for. Advance parole is for. What can I do if I only receive one prima facie and it's been months since since not a new one. Send them a letter. If you have an attorney in your case, ask the attorney to email the Month Service Center. How much does it cost for you to file fiancé visa? I don't have set fees. That's discussed during the consultation because it depends on each person's case. And that's based on what it is that I need to do on each case. Let's see. Okay. All right, let me go to Instagram. Hello, Mr. Rashid. How are you? So yours, I'm hoping. So I don't have anything. Notices. I will send them to you, but I don't think now we haven't gone through everything. But so far, I don't see your notices yet. But we'll see. Ayoba, I am good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Let's see. Thank you, Epic. Much, much better. Okay, let's see. Cookies Baby 143. I have a valid case. Can I divorce my husband? I cannot tell you whether or not to go ahead and divorce. Each person, that's a decision you have to make on your own. But if you don't have to, I always say just hold on because you just never know. Once you get divorced, you still have 2 years from when the divorce is final to, if you have to refile for whatever reason of that case, then, if you're already divorced, you're completely out of luck if it's more than 2 years. But if your case has been pending for a while, depending on your personal situation, that's a decision you would have to make on your own. _Kitchens, thank you for joining. Okay. I got like 200 questions. Good night. Can you do a case inquiry for an I-769 online, the USCIS, if it's outside the normal processing time? If it's not a confidential case, yeah, you can submit that. Walioni, does what apply to asylum cases? I'm due to file citizenship. My spouse and I have 2 years of taxes filed jointly and 1 year of married filed separately. Will this affect my chances? Not necessarily. It just depends on what other evidence you have. But I can't talk about your case. I don't know anything about your case. Can someone without a status in the country but only work authorization stand as a sponsor of someone applying for a student visa overseas? I wouldn't advise that. Okay. Oh, also my condition has not yet been removed. Does the extension also count? I read that it counts and I can proceed to apply for citizenship. Good question. So if you have an I-751 that's pending and it's been pending and it's been pending and Jesus has come and gone back and has come a second time and it's still pending with USCIS, as long as it's been 3 years, and I'm assuming based on your, oh yeah, we're still under a tornado watch. So if you hear something in the background, we're still, and it's based on 3 years. And now it's been 3 years since the date. So your card will have residence since, once you are 90 days before the 3rd-year anniversary of that residence since date, you still are eligible to apply for citizenship because your residency does not pause just because you have a pending I-751. So that's why you're able to file a naturalization application when you have a pending 751. Sometimes it actually makes it go faster because then they may schedule for your interview for your citizenship, but then they have to pull your file and adjudicate your 751 at the same time. Final comment, you look glorious. Thank you. Am I single? Listen, I'm trying to think of something. How do I put this? What is that saying in Yoruba language that, because I ain't going to try, that it translates to say that if you're not going to be eating it, don't smell it. Technically help me. Something. But, that's not what I really want to say. Let me see what, I'm just trying. I'm going to save me from you. Because she's a lot. Go ask people who know me. Like, yeah, you failed me, high blood pressure, very young. Yep. Be careful what you wish for. Cookies, baby. I have not received my EAD. It's been a year and it's a C9. So if it's still within the normal processing time, then you gotta wait. Unless you have a ground to expedite, you can try that. But put your date in online and see if it's still within number processing time. If it is, then you just have to wait unless you've got some urgent grounds, humanitarian grounds, whatever the case may be. My client Misty and her kids that we did a week ago from Friday, and then it was approved Monday. They really had financial hard. I mean, and I did an affidavit for her. We had some additional documents, and the notification came in today that the cards have been mailed. Y'all don't even know how excited I am for her. Like, I'm telling you, I live vicariously through my clients because, I'm a citizen. So it's like, okay, they done that. Although when I think of my journey, I was like, people, when I tell you that I've worked in the mall with 16, 15, 14-year-olds with a law degree. But I thank God. I thank God because the journey was supposed to be the way it went. I thank God for the story today. I thank God for the story for years to come. So where you are is not your final destination. But now I get to live vicariously through clients, like just rejoice with people when we get. And sometimes we don't always get good news. That's just the truth. That is the nature of the work that I do. No matter how much you try, sometimes you just don't get the good news you want. It doesn't discourage. I mean, I don't like to lose. I hate losing. I'm a sore loser. Like, I am one who pouts when I lose. Yeah. But then I remind myself, like, God has given the strength and given the knowledge to do what we can. It just wasn't going to be that way. What's the next step? So, can someone who has 10-year green card file for green card for someone? It depends on who it is. Hello, Miss Wilson. No updates yet. So I'm going to give them another, because remember I told you sometimes it takes them up to 30 days. But it was sent in before that date. So let's give it another 2 weeks. Please send me a reminder if you don't hear from me. And if you don't hear from me, it's because I haven't heard from them. You already know how I operate. If I hear something, my clients know within hours. But no update yet. It's been on my mind. So yeah, I'm thinking we may try something. Email me, because to tell you how much is on my mind. I don't know if you're still on there, Mr. Mosa. Let me cover her. See, to tell you how much it's on my mind. Your notice is sitting right here on my desk, and I have a copy in my office as well. This is my home office, my office. So every single day I have to look at it as a reminder. So yeah, that's why I have gray hair. I don't sleep. Sleep, Lord. What's the wait period for I-360 receipt notice? Like till when rapture happens? I filed a case and I've sent. Listen, I won't be surprised if it comes to a point where they just actually block my email, because I emailed them on behalf of my client. Like, I don't take no for an answer. I don't. I just don't. Like, I hear no, and it's like, oh, okay, that just means try again. So, I emailed them so many times that they get to the point like, so we just wait and see. But yeah, it's I'd just love to have answers. But the receipt notice, the one I said we filed in last week in August. I just got it today, but have sent them. I don't think less than 5 emails between August and now. I didn't send the first email until I usually wait 4 weeks. Once it's week 5 and I have nothing, I'm like, hello there. What's going on, people? Can I send an RFE before it is requested for 5 months after applying? Because I know they will request the passport. Just wait. Should one be conscious about dressing when going for a green card interview for someone who is heavy on accessories? Oh, hell no. Excuse me. Like, hell no. Like, no, wear everything you got to wear. One life to leave. Just blink them and even distract them. Just blind them everywhere. But yeah. But just make sure you check your social media pages before you go. Just saying. Oh, hello, Miss 𝒊𝒂𝒏𝒕. I am praying for you. I pray for all my clients. I do. So I'm the kind of person that for whatever reason, I take on challenging cases. Like, I just feel if your case is pretty straightforward, yeah, everybody, listen, you need an attorney. Don't kid yourself. But I just love to take on challenging cases. I love to have that challenge. I love researching. I love reading. That's why I won't bother coloring my hair because it would turn gray again. Because I am constantly looking for ways like, okay, how can we argue this? I love that. Because I have the attention span of a 2-year-old. So if you have a whole lot of evidence of abuse in a VA case, like, okay, it's good. So it's pretty straightforward. But if it's a case where you hardly even have bills together, I'm like, yeah, let's take it on. We'll figure it out. We'll come up with something. That's just the way my brain works. Wish I hadn't known you about you before. You helped me so much. Thank you, Cookies Baby. I appreciate that. I am Bank Holly. What if I get my 10 years green card through VAWA, and I'm still married to my spouse? Do I have to wait 3 years or 5 years to become a citizen? 3, whether or not you're married to the spouse. If your abuser is a citizen, regardless if you're married to the person at the time you become a green card holder, 3 years from that time, you are eligible to file for citizenship, unless your abuser is a green card holder. Okay. Hello, Mr. Biomi. Okay, email me if you don't if you want to set up another consultation, because we've already completed that part. So email me and I would respond to your email. I have because I was off for Thanksgiving. So this week I have, God knows, today alone I've done 9, 10, 11, 12. I think I did 11 consultations today. I don't know why I'm not tired. You're welcome. Okay, people. All right, let me run through this again. What next after I-360 approval? If you filed your 485, then they will transfer. Why do I know your name? They'll transfer your file. Yeah, I was distracted with something. Okay. Good question. If you are in removal, can you file for VAWA? Short answer, yes. You can file a VAWA petition even if you're in removal proceedings. Sometimes that actually helps you, especially when you get your prima facie determination, like a couple of my clients have, and we send that in, and either we have a termination of proceedings or we have administrative closure. If you have like an asylum case, I'd rather do administrative closure in an asylum case than terminate, because that's always a backup plan. Okay. I have not forgotten you, Miss Abu, at all. No, you're on my radar. Listen, let me even pull up your information real quick. Let me see. Yeah, okay. Nope. But let me make a note for myself, because I need to check something in your case. Okay. All right, people. Thank you very, very much for joining me. I appreciate you guys. And if we can help you with your immigration case, contact information is 334-341-4475. Visit our website at olalayalawfirm.com. You can also send a text to us. I have my people who are there to answer your questions. Nobody besides myself is able to give you a fee quote on any case. So no matter how much you don't badger my staff, because there's nothing they can do. They're just following my instructions. Thank you, Rolly. Thank you, Cookies Baby. All right, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. And thank you, Jesus. We need to lose power, and no tornado went through our place. Thank you, Lord. There's always a reason to be grateful. Stay positive, people. Life is too short. One life to live. Things will always work out. At the end, it works out fine. Bible says that, I don't know if you guys can see my tattoos. The lion head is kind of dry because, black skin. But I have it right here. It says Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans he has for me. That's my badge each day. I have another one right here. It says God's own. Because I know that I have a stamp of Jesus on me. And I know you have that on you as well. Just keep believing. Don't lose faith. Because if you lose faith, what else do you have? What else do you have? You've got to believe that there's a power higher than you. Because if you think you can do, there's some people who think it's everything that counts good for them is their power. I wasn't raised that way. I'm not wired that way, because I'm very that all may see and know and consider altogether that his hand alone has done this. So for the rest of my life, it's going to be because the hand of God has done it. And because I know his hand is able to do all things, then my trust, I continue to lift up my eyes to the hills where my help comes from. My help comes from the Lord, the one who spoke heaven and earth into existence. So let's keep believing. Everyone that has had their own good stories, they don't have two heads. So yours will surely come. But while you wait for yours, just be sure and remind yourself to rejoice with others. Good night, everybody.